Hi guys, day 27, it's lunchtime. I'm a little bit out of breath, doing lots of digging and need to take my jumper off really, it's quite warm. That's better. So for lunch today, couldn't really be any simpler. Boiled eggs. I was gonna make a salad, but I couldn't be bothered. I was just way too lazy this morning. I had to get up and I had to make sourdough this morning. So I say make sourdough. I made the dough last night and it did its first proof overnight in the fridge. So this morning I had to get up and shape the loaves. It's now on its second proof, again in the fridge. I didn't have the motivation to make myself a salad after that, and I still hadn't left for work. So it's just the eggs, but I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. I've had one already. I had one about 10 o'clock and really enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm not upset about this lunch at all. It's really simple. I think it'd get quite boring having it every day, but today, no, very happy with it. Like I say, I brought 4 eggs. I've got 3 left. That's really good. Nothing on it, no salt, nothing. Just really good. Really happy. Yeah, I think I'm going to eat all 4 of them, and that'll be lunch. So we'll catch up again a bit later. I have to see what time I get home. There's a chance I'm going to finish work a bit early today. There's a certain amount I've got to get done, and then I can't do anything until the building inspector comes, who's coming in the morning. So if I get everything done, I'll be home nice and early, and that frees up a bit of time for me to maybe, you know, make something quite special. Let's see how we get on. Okay, so I got home at a reasonable hour. I actually got home very early. I got home about 3 o'clock, and it's almost 4 now. So far, all I've done is some washing up. I've got my sourdough loaves out of the fridge, and what I've done is I've gone through that crock pot there, which had the remnants of our chicken in it. I've taken all the rest of the meat off of that bird and split out the carcass and created, well, loads and loads of chicken meat, like from the legs and the stuff that we didn't eat in that roast dinner, but also loads of chicken stock. So what I'm going to do, my wife will be home from work fairly shortly. I'm going to go out and milk the goats. I'm just putting my shoes on. And when I get back, I'm going to do a bit of a cookathon. What I really want to do, I want to get loads done so that I've got delicious food ahead for a few days. So this is the plan. And as you guys will know, if you watch me regularly, the plans are always subject to change. But as it stands right now, I'm going to make a spicy chicken broth, which is going to, I'm going to eat that like a soup. So that's what I'm going to use this stock for. I'm also going to make that pasta. I'm also going to make a tomato sauce, and then how it all comes together and gets shaken out over the next few days with actual meals, who knows? But that's the plan. And yeah, let's get on, get the goat's milk, then I can come back in and get stuck in. Okay, so I'm back from milking the goats, and I just avoided the rain actually. My poor wife's gone out to collect the eggs. She wasn't quite so lucky. But I'm going to make my pasta first. I'm going to make quite a bit because I'm actually going to use some of the same dough to go in the soup, because as far as I can tell, you guys tell me if you know any different, but for my purposes, using the recipe I'm using with just flour and eggs, there's basically no difference between pasta and egg noodles. So I'm going to make chicken noodle soup. And yeah, I'm really thrilled about that. So I'm going to make the pasta first, because then that's got to sit in the fridge for 30 minutes or so. While that's happening, I'm going to go out and gather the root vegetables and stuff that I need. And we'll just see the order we proceed from there. I've got the tomato sauce I'd like to make. I've got the ravioli I'd like to make. Let's just see how we get on. So first stop is to mix the pasta dough. I've seen various recipes online, and they vary from between 100 grams to 1 egg to 150 grams to 1 egg. So I've kind of settled somewhere in the middle, and I tend to go about 125 grams per egg now. That's where I'm at. Each 1 egg amount makes a pretty big meal. So we've got 390 grams there. Let's make it 400, and then we'll go with 3 eggs. And then you just basically swirl the eggs around and let it gradually catch the flour. I think that's as good as it's going to get anyway. So I'm going to wrap this in tin foil, and then I'm going to go and collect some veggies from the garden to make my chicken noodle soup. Right, so I've been out and harvested. I've got to go through my bucket and sort it all out, but I've got quite a bit of sweet corn because some of our plants actually blew over in the wind last night. So rather than let them just rot on the ground, we brought them in. I'm going to put some sweet corn in my chicken noodle soup, but a lot of it will just boil up and freeze. I've also got, oh wow, there's a lot to sort through here. I've picked my first leeks of the year, just a couple. They're a bit small really, but for the flavour I think they're going to be great in some of the things I'm cooking. We've got loads of jalapenos, we've got our spinach, we've got bell peppers, we've got all the usual stuff, carrots, beetroot, onions, goodness knows what else. So we are set now. It's just a case of prepping it all and then starting to make everything up. I'm really quite excited about where this is going to end up. Oh, and just in case we needed any validation that I'd perhaps taken my eye off the ball in the garden a little bit, this guy was supposed to be a courgette. Okay, so these things here, they're going to go in either the chicken noodle soup or the tomato sauce that I'm going to make. So, or both, some of them. So we've got onions, they're going in both. We've got our, something else actually, we've got our spinach here, that's going to go in the ravioli. We've got our sweet corn, we need to cook that and sort it out because it just needed taking care of because of the state of the garden. But some of that's going to go in our soup. Our peppers, just some regular bell peppers there, they're going to go in our tomato sauce. We've got carrots, which are going to go in the soup. We've got some swede for the soup. We've got some beetroot, which are probably going to be used in both. We've got some jalapenos, which are definitely going to be used in both. We've got some leek there, which is going to go in the soup. And, well, maybe both. I've only got one leek, actually. I thought I had two. And a few courgettes, which are for the tomato sauce, as is the basil. So, those are our ingredients. I'm now going to get cooking, and I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. Right, quick check-in. So, in here, I'm sautéing my carrots, my onions, my garlic. And that's going to go into the chicken noodle soup. I've got my sourdough in the oven right now, which is just about due to come out and have the lid taken off and go back in. And my sweet corn's on. In fact, that's done. So I'm actually going to stop for a second. I'm going to sort out my sweet corn, sort out my sourdough, and I'm actually going to eat a corn on the cob or two, and then come back to it. In fact, before I do anything else, I need to slice some jalapenos and get them in there. Otherwise, it's going to be too late. We're over halfway there now for most of it. I've got too much going on, so I don't know how far I'm going to get tonight. Might not get everything finished, but it's going quite well. So in here, we've got everything for our soup except for the chicken and the noodles. So this is chicken noodle soup, minus chicken, minus noodles. It's got our jalapenos in there. It's got our carrots in there, our onions in there, our garlic in there. And other than that, it's just chicken stock. Now I'm about to go again over here for our tomato sauce. So I'm about to put these chopped onions in here, and then we're going to add from the chopped onions, we're then going to add garlic, bell peppers, some more jalapenos, some courgettes, and I'm probably going to have some spare veg actually that doesn't have a home tonight. That's okay, that's fine, that's great. And then we're going to basically make our tomato sauce. So I'm going to get the tomatoes out of the freezer shortly. I've just wilted our spinach in the same water that I cooked the sweet corn in. Oh sorry, that's got some sweet corn in as well, hasn't it? Not loads, but some. And I have just eaten 5 corn on the cobs. So maybe that's my tea. I'm not sure if I'm going to eat anything else or not. So I've got to get my sourdough out the oven next, which is done. Then carry on making our tomato sauce. Okay, so I've added the chicken in here, and I've just tried a bit, and it's blinking delicious. I've also just added some salt, because it really needed that. So I've put some of my sea salt in there. I've got enough sea salt left for like 4 or 5 good, doses. And yeah, so we put 1.5 doses in there. In here we've got our onions frying off and our garlic. And the next thing to go in here is going to be some leeks that I've just chopped. I love the flavour of leeks, and that's really going to add some lovely depth to the flavour of that tomato sauce. And then the next job for me is going to be to get this pan here on the heat with some tomatoes in out the freezer, and then we're just going to let them break down on the heat. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer them into a small container, and I'm going to whiz them up. I'm going to blend them with our stick blender, and I'm going to do that with the seeds and the skins and everything. Now normally I would run it through a moulie and separate those out, but I just can't afford to. I can't afford to lose any of that tomato flavour. I need it all in there, so that's what we're going to do. That's it. That's all I have. I'm going to add some of the dried seaweed that we made earlier in the month for that umami flavour into that soup as well. So I've whizzed up the tomatoes, and this is what I've got. So it's okay actually, tiny bit more than I was expecting when I put them in the pan, still not a lot. I have to really make sure that I get as much bang for my buck there as I possibly can, but I think this is going to work out pretty well. So I'm going to transfer the onion, garlic, some more jalapenos and courgettes into that sauce, and that then is pretty much going to be done. Add a little bit of salt, give it a stir. This is the last of my salt. Okay, so that's about a quarter of the salt I have left. But I've already done about the same amount in the chicken noodle soup, so we're good there. I'm all right with that. That's looking all right. So the proof of the pudding's in the tasting, so yes. That's really good. I'm really happy with that. Yeah, that's our tomato sauce for a pasta or something of that nature. We're probably going to pair that with our ravioli if we make the ravioli. I'm not sure we're going to get there tonight. I don't know if it's just because I haven't been near a tomato all month, and it's something we would usually eat a couple of times a week at least, something tomato based, but that is, I'm so happy with that. On to the pasta now. We're getting there, nearly, we're on the home straight again, and yeah, I'm really happy. So tomorrow I'm going to take the chicken noodle soup to work with me for lunch in a thermos. Going to have some of that left over. I'm going to have a little tiny bit of that tonight, I think, with some sourdough as well. And then tomorrow night will be the, whatever this ends up being, this meal. So I'm going to roll out some pasta now. I might not get any further than just rolling it out. I'm going to cut the noodles for the soup, and that might be it. We'll see. So I've cut my noodles. I'm going to quickly boil them now, and then they're going to go in the soup, and we are done. Right, that's it. I'm calling it a night. It is 7:30, so I've been at this for about 4 hours with, you know, a short break for milking the goats, and I'm all washed up. I haven't put away yet, but we've got our amazing chicken noodle soup, and I'm about to have a little bowl of this with some of our freshly baked sourdough. We've got our tomato sauce to go with our pasta tomorrow in the fridge. We've got our spinach all wilted. So all I need to do tomorrow is roll out the next lot of pasta, make my ravioli, or I might go for a cannellini. I'm kind of, it'll all depend on what sort of effort I feel up to, but it'll actually be a lot less work than this evening. And we've got that amazing meal. We've got that amazing tomato sauce, so I'm really excited about. That's gonna do me 2 dinners. It's probably gonna do me the cannellini dinner, and then it's probably gonna do me the another dinner where I have it just with potato wedges and some pork or something. And yeah, no, I'm over the moon, really happy. So I'm gonna have a bowl of this soup right now, and that is definitely me done for the day. So here it is, my dinner. Well, to be fair, I have been trying things as I've gone on, so I'm not that hungry anymore. I've eaten quite a bit, and I've had quite a lot of sweet corn as well. But So now I have, for tomorrow, a lunch that I'm really looking forward to. I'm so happy. This is a huge success. Tonight's been a huge success. Absolutely exhausted, but I feel like I've got ahead a little bit. Hopefully this will be the last night that I have to go to these extremes. So I should have caught up a little bit now. So that's where we are. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please do leave me a comment down below. Like this video if you haven't already, and also subscribe to my channel. And I will speak to you tomorrow. Cheers.